Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 AlphaStar replay cast. Today we are on the map Cyber Forest for game number 1. And if I recall correctly, the last game ended with a ZVZ. And yeah, maybe this one will be similar, maybe it'll be different. Anyway, we have got AlphaStar in the bottom right-hand side of the map doing its thing. And then we have got Cheesing. It's the Masters player, gonna be going for a good old 13-12, which is honestly the easiest build for you to do if you want to just cheese Zerg. I find it's pretty much the one ZVZ build that I know, honestly, when I play the race. And it works pretty darn well. Now, as of the last game, AlphaStar showed us that it was pretty good at defending this kind of cheese, but there's a lot of different variation, and it looks like this game, the Masters player is going to be going for an extra hatchery, which is good to see. And then, yeah, AlphaStar just going for its hatchery first. It's pretty good at defending, like, any early aggression that comes at it, so I don't have much worry for the AI at this point, and that this will probably just balance out into a fairly average opening, I imagine. As like the Masters player here, he's gone for his own hatchery. It's not far behind AlphaStar's. He's down on drones, of course, and he's got the quick ling speed on the way, but it's nowhere near as much of a commitment as like a one base or something, but still decently committed. We'll see if he keeps spamming lings or if he's going to be going into something else after this. I imagine he's going to macro out of this because he's just supply blocked at the 14 mark for quite a while now. That it's not going to be easy for him just to keep rushing more lings, but there's always a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance that this guy's just going to keep cheesing the heck out of AlphaStar? The answer to that is yes. So far he throws up a queen, but then he does just go into a single drone behind it, followed by a couple of lings. So kind of middle of the road at the minute. We'll see how this is going to work out. The lings come in. They're going to start harassing AlphaStar a little bit. Now, the AI does have its own lings on the way, so this should be taken care of perfectly, and there's some of that excellent drone micro we're seeing once again. The AI hasn't lost a single drone to this, and it's just going to clean up and repel everything. Beautifully done by AlphaStar. The Masters player has seen the Roach Warren building, which is very, very important for him. But he does seem to have just one plan in mind, and that is just gas, gas, gas. Queen's going to move to the natural to try and shoo away AlphaStar's Overlord, which is essentially confirming you aren't droning too hard behind this, which I wonder if that's the reason why AlphaStar just decided to throw up the Roach Warren or not and start building the roaches, as that is a pretty big tell. Now, yeah, seeing as how we got 4 roaches on the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's try and hit 4 likes on this video. If you guys could go ahead and slap the bejeebus out of that like button, it would be appreciated. Of course, if you're new to the channel, you enjoy daily StarCraft 2, go ahead and subscribe. In come the lings for the Masters player, but I don't think there is a chance of this attack where he gets the queen, he kills off most of AlphaStar's lings, but the roaches in the end are just too much of a backbone for the Masters player to get too much done. So he's just gonna basically keep making lings back at home. I mean, yeah, I guess there's a chance that sometimes you can just overwhelm your opponent, but I really don't like how the Masters player is doing this. Like, he's running all of his lings underneath AlphaStar's Overlord, so AlphaStar has a complete picture of how the aggression is just going to keep continuing on. Some lings do run into the main base. Maybe these ones will split off and go to the natural. The lings are going to be fighting AlphaStar's drones once again, which seems to be incredibly effective control from the AI. It's not like AlphaStar is cruising at 10,000 APM or something, but it just uses those clicks very, very perfectly timed in order to pull those drones away and keep them alive. I don't think any pro does that near as well as AlphaStar does. Now, yeah, I get the feeling that this is just going to be a bit of a bop and a slow death for the Masters player. I mean, he's at about half the drone count of AlphaStar, doesn't have roaches. He's making a few drones now, but these are the defeat drones. They're sad drones. And they're drones that are going to have to contend with all the roaches that AlphaStar is making. The lings for the Masters player are hiding to the north, but once again, AlphaStar's Overlords have seen these lings run out, so the AI can just be like, oh yeah, there's some lings out on the map. I guess I'll just sit back at home a little while longer, building up a ton of roaches that will be impossible for the Masters player to stop, unless AlphaStar just decides to fall asleep at the keyboard. Or in the middle of this game, the developers of AlphaStar were like, all right, let's pull the plug on this. And even look at this, AlphaStar is so confident, it's like, I'll leave about half my army back at home, send the other half to go and kill you. Although the AI does decide to bring the rest of these roaches home, seeing as how these lings run into the main base, so the Masters player is buying himself a bit of time. He's building up some spine crawlers, seeing as how he doesn't have a roach warren. But look at this, AlphaStar is just microing the drones once again. 8 drones have gone down this game, compared to 54 lings, so a pretty good trade, I'll say, for AlphaStar. If we look at the supply, I don't usually like to say that because of the meme, but look at the supply, it's 29 to 72. That is not good numbers. Those are not good numbers at all. We see the Evo Chambers now on the way for the Masters player. I'm guessing for +1, he's making a lot of lings, so I guess getting +1 is the next logical step. But I do not expect him to live that long. He could turn all of his drones into spine crawlers right now, and I think AlphaStar could probably still crash the gates. Ling's running in once again. The Masters player's like, hey, if it don't work the first time, or the second, or the third, or the 14th time, try for the 15th time. And so that's exactly what this Masters player has been doing. AlphaStar, though, is just sitting back, building up lots of roaches. I do get the feeling that the constant link counterattacks are actually what's keeping AlphaStar back at home for so long. But at some point, the AI does have to move out across the map and kill its opponent, right? At some point. By the way, the Masters player is still just making drones. Hasn't fired up +1, hasn't started a lair or a roach warren or anything like that. So I'm really unsure of what he's doing. I get the feeling it's just going to be into mutas, like the world's slowest muta transition ever. But his ling counterattacks have actually been enough to completely pull AlphaStar back at home. So in this iteration of AlphaStar, we're seeing it be not as lethal as it should be. I think any player, like any Masters player at least, in this situation would definitely know, like, yeah, I should be able to just go across the map and kill you, and that waiting is how I can throw this game. Particularly when the AI has got 33 roaches. They're now gonna move across the map. Yeah, these roaches running across. We'll see if the Masters player is gonna send in his lings. Yes, he is. Is this actually gonna pull back? Yes, it is! The AI is being totally played by this guy. Oh my gosh. Totally played. However, I'm kind of concerned right now. If we take a look, those were the last of the lings out on the map, so that trick is not up the sleeve of the Masters player anymore. He bought himself a lot of time, and he is building a giant spine crawler forest. He's got a very solid wall of pure Evos, as he's probably trying to tech into mutas. He throws up a spire now, but if the roaches are already at your doorstep and your spire's just starting, that is not a good sign. So these spines and queens are gonna have a very tall order. AlphaStar's like, hey, why can't my roaches go up that ramp? But then we do see the roaches are now gonna run up the ramp. The spines are doing what they can, and they're actually gonna deal a lot of damage, but as I said, the Zerg player could turn all of his drones into spines, and he almost took me literally, but yeah, it looks like it is just gonna be too many roaches just pushing on in. Oh my gosh, I love this game. This game was great. AlphaStar just does eventually get the win, though, finally deciding to attack. Okay, so that last game was pretty much AlphaStar just getting derped around a little bit, which I like to see. Reminds us that it is indeed an AI and not some god. Although maybe someday, we'll see. But that is actually just such like a classic AI thing to happen. Like the human just like figures out how it kind of works, and then it's just like, oh, he comes back when I send in a tiny amount of units. That was actually kind of similar to what happened in some of the very first AlphaStar games that we saw. It was Mana versus AlphaStar. Or if I remember correctly, Mana had a warp prism and kept going in, and the AI kept coming back with its entire army. So definitely a weakness in the AI there. It seems when it decides to defend, it decides to defend wholly for the most part. And so that's something that's really interesting and could be something that you could abuse against the AI. Now, as far as, yeah, I'm not really sure. It's just, what would be a good way to abuse that? I mean, obviously just like the Warp Prism or something, but that really is just such a classic behavior in AI. And speaking of the build this game, we have got a Diamond player going for a Command Center first. This reminds me of when I was a Diamond player. I'd do things like this. And then I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna have the best economy in the world, and then I'd have probably float thousands of resources. But yeah. Anyway, we have got ourselves a spawning pool on the way for AlphaStar. And yeah, just normal build from the AI. So good old TVZ on the map New Repugnancy. I do like that the Diamond player chose to go for a build like this. I don't think it affects things too much when you're around the Diamond level of play. Going for something like this as opposed to a Reaper expand. At the pro level, things like this really benefit the pros because, I mean, every little advantage is multiplied because it's so hard to get a little advantage. So then we take a look. It's just going to be right on into a bunker and a Marine for the Diamond player. So playing it very safe, going for the hard eco, then going for the hard defense, which I really do like. He did get his double refinery up very quickly, though, so he makes up for that delayed gas mining. His orbital is actually being a little bit delayed, though, so maybe wanting to consider something different for this build. He actually does a big old SCV transfer, which is a little bit unusual. You generally want to just saturate your main base in case you're attacked or whatever, ling run by, things like that. So quite an odd build from the Diamond player. If I'm not mistaken, in my Starcraft knowledge, that having 16 SCVs is just as efficient as having 2 bases with 8, to my knowledge. Otherwise, it's a very, very slight difference, but or it might affect just like 1 or 2 of the mineral patches, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't, as you can tell by looking at the very closest mineral patches that no SCV is just like waiting around even for a second, really. Maybe on the very closest patch, but I am not 100% sure. Anyway, we've got a starport on the way and a barracks on the way for the Diamond player, so potentially gonna be just turning on the aggression. I personally would like to see a battle cruiser after something crazy like a CC first. However, it does look like it will be a type of 2-on-1 play, going for the stim pack, getting up the starport. This guy's marching to the beat of his own drum as he throws up double eBay. Double eBay before 3rd CC is interesting. Definitely pointing towards aggression or a timing from the Terran player. Now we see even an extra barracks going on. So yeah, 3 racks, double upgrade play coming from the Diamond player, which I honestly don't mind. And if we take a look right now, AlphaStar is just doing its Zergle-Durgle thing, throwing up a Roach Warren. Then gonna be, yeah, just starting to saturate up its 3rd base, so macroing on up. Roaches for AlphaStar sometimes means a big old swell and then a big old attack. We'll see if that's gonna be the case or not. Terran player is going to be getting on a siege tank, though, which is good against a Zerg that's making roaches. But for now, AlphaStar isn't even making any roaches. It's just laying on that drone key for the most part. We see a first roach start at the 50 drone mark, which is not the safest, I'd say, particularly when AlphaStar hasn't scouted. So I feel that if you were I mean, it scouted the CC timing and it scouted the bunker. But I do get the feeling that a pro could definitely have a timing attack that would punish this. As 55 drones to then start making roaches isn't a lot. For example, if the Diamond player like went into 3 racks right away, as opposed to going into the double eBay or factory, then the double eBay and everything, maybe he could have had a timing attack or something that would have punished this. I'm not sure. But anyway, AlphaStar is now making those safety roaches. And the AI is honestly so good at defending, it just kind of does what it wants. Safety roaches, lair on the way. All the while, the Diamond player is getting his 1-1 coming out. He's got that 3rd CC on the way. We'll see if he throws up an armory soon, which will allow him to go right into his 2-2 upgrades, and he could have a very nice upgrade lead going against AlphaStar throughout the duration of this game. For now, though, if we do take a look at the supply, we are starting to see AlphaStar pulling ahead. It's at 56 drones. It's making just a ton of roaches and ravagers, so I get the feeling that the heat could be getting turned on up. AlphaStar is going to turn up the thermostat on the Diamond player potentially, as this is a lot of units. This is the 55 roach attack And we'll see, and not 55 roaches, although I'm sure AlphaStar would like that many roaches. The 55 drone roach attack. And if we do take a look, the Diamond player is going to be moving out on the map. He's salvaging his bunker. We'll see if he's going to build up another one. But this is exactly why Zergs go for this timing attack. It really punishes Terran. And let me tell you, it's like the most baffling thing is Terran. Because you're just getting to this stage which you're like, right, I'm starting to get out my medivacs, I'm getting out my bio, all my upgrades and everything. I even got some defensive tanks. And then it's just like, roaches from the Zerg. And that's what we're probably going to be seeing here. And the Terran's just like, but I've got stimmed bio, that beats roaches, doesn't it? And the Zerg just says, not this many roaches. And that's exactly what AlphaStar is going to be doing this game, I feel. And it's going to be good. 100 army supply against the 56. Yes, the Terran's bio is better than what the Zerg will have. But when it is this many roaches, the Zerg just doesn't have to care. Now, the thing that the Terran can do, which I'd say is the most important to defending an attack against like this, well, okay, the two most important things. First is obviously scouting this. If you know this is coming, you're in a much better spot. AlphaStar, though, hasn't shown the roaches at all, really, and the Terran hasn't scanned. The Terran's actually been playing incredibly blind this game. But the second most important thing I'll say is if the Terran even identifies this attack at the last minute, you gotta stim your bio and get it out in front of your tanks. So these tanks, they're not sieging up, which is a little bit unfortunate. There we go, they're starting to siege up. Now the Marines and Marauders are running forward, trying to buffer, but not as early as they could have been, I feel. So while the tanks are getting some shots off, I feel like they didn't maximize their efficiency. And if we take a look right now, the Terran's like, but I had stimmed bio and medivacs, and the Zerg says, yes, but I have a ton of roaches. And we're going to be looking at one dead nerd as AlphaStar just can't stop killing. I honestly liked what this Diamond Terran was doing, but he's just so dead. Like, he is one dead nerd. As we take a look, it's just Ravagers for days. AlphaStar is laying on that roach key. It's fallen asleep right now. It's just sleeping on top of the R key to make roaches. And yeah, the Terran's totally dead. There's nothing you can do. We see this happen to a lot of Terrans. And it's just one of those funny timing attacks in Starcraft 2. Like, in theory, the Terran has the unit composition to defend it, but it's just such an amount of roaches that the Terran doesn't really expect the attack, right? An attack this strong at this time. I mean, he's trying to hold on. He's got some stimmed bio. He's got a few Liberators that just popped out, but he's already lost so many SCVs. He's down a ton of supply. His third CC is burning. His Marines are dying. Yeah, SCVs are going to be pulled into death, and that should be all that she wrote for this Diamond Terran. I honestly like the way that he was playing the game. He seemed to be doing all right. AlphaStar, though, just with its classic AlphaStar timing attack, showing us that a good build can get you a lot of wins. This is the AI. I don't know how many matches the AI has won in a row now, but it is getting up there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this match, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, as I put out StarCraft 2 content that really anyone should like if you're a fan of StarCraft. If you want to join the Discord, hang out, talk AlphaStar, talk Pro StarCraft 2 matches, things like that, that's linked in the description, along with the membership, with the membership link, which allows you to get various perks and things like that for supporting the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is LaughNgamez. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.